Hey folks, a week ago we started an experiment testing 6 different seed starting mixes to see which one would work best for you. I have been completely surprised by what has happened here. The first surprise was that one of my seed choices, which was a red seashoo by my gardener, did not germinate at all. So I'm eliminating that from the test. Is it that I have bad seeds, or I just don't know how to grow it? Some seeds do like to be planted directly outside a little bit better than inside. So we're going to consider this a fail and just eliminate it from the test. Another seed did not sprout well, but I had problems with it before I actually started the test. And it was also on my gardener seed, and it was an heirloom, and it's okra hill country. I won't be buying that seed again. If I can't grow it in 7 or 8 different types of soil, then it's not worth me spending the money on it. What did grow well was the okra that is the Clemson spineless. That's an old variety that's been around forever, but it did very well with almost every soil. So without further ado, I will tell you a little bit more about what I did. I put the eggplant and the tomatoes all in one tray and put them on heat mat so that they all germinated or had the exact same conditions. When I did that, I realized that I needed to do the same for the rest of them. So instead of leaving them in a Whitney's tray or a Miracle-Gro tray, I put all the same type of seed trays in the same big tray. And so then everything was grown under the exact same conditions other than the soil that it was growing in. So my biggest surprise when I was working with the soil, I told you previously that I thought that Coast of Maine was going to be my very, very favorite. I liked the way it smelled. I liked the way it felt on my hands. I liked the way that it packed into the cells of each of the small trays. It is either wet or dry. It contains a little bit too much organic matter, and I could see visible mold on top of the soil, meaning it was too wet, but I could never find that happy medium of wet and dry. Now, I'll probably still work with that soil a little bit to see if I can figure it out. Maybe I just need to add a little perlite to it. I might add some of my home mix into it. That was also a disappointment. My homemade mix. So if you saw the recipe on the previous episode, I would say don't do it. I will tweak that recipe, and when I come out with the best recipe, I will post that. I think what the problem with the home recipe was I think there was too much perlite and not enough peat moss. And so I'll fool around with that and see what happens. Now, as far as the big winner was the soil that I hated the most when I was working with it, and that's Whitney Farms organic. I didn't like it was because it's dry. It's dry, and when you plant with it, it takes so much moisture to get it where it feels like it's going to actually grow a seed. It doesn't have a nice color. It's kind of orange. Just really didn't like it. But out of the 48 possible plants that it could have germinated, it wins with 44 plants. Followed by Promix, Black Gold, and Miracle-Gro. All 3 of those grew 43 plants out of potential 48. My home mix did 39. Coast of Maine did 36. So that's interesting to me. As for me, I will probably continue using black and gold. I really enjoy working with that. I'm happy with 43 germinations out of 48. It's also readily available in my area, and it's organic. If I lived in an area where I couldn't get organic, I would probably choose Miracle-Gro. Now, I've seen so many reviews online that say it's a terrible, terrible seed starting mix, but clearly it did a great job here. If I were a home grower and I only wanted to grow a little bit, I would most certainly do Miracle-Gro if I didn't care about it not being organic. Whitney's is also really widely available. So if you're growing a few trays, I would go with that. Now the issue I found with that is it's only available in an 8-quart container. So that's really 2, maybe 3 of these trays. So that's going to get kind of pricey if you actually grow a lot of seeds, but it did a great job. The other thing is what germinated fastest. And what germinated fastest was the Miracle-Gro. On day 3, I had 13 seeds that had germinated. Whitney followed that with 11. The black and gold is 9, followed by Promix, which I always heard was the fastest germinating. And the Home and Coast followed behind that just by a little bit. So this has been a really great experiment. I always felt bad for not using Promix because that's what everybody uses. That's not readily available in my area this year, so I didn't even try to get it until this experiment came up. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're growing. Oh, one other thing. Because of this experiment, I've grown far too many plants, and I'm not going to be able to plant everything that I have germinated. And I found out that the county next to mine, Newaygo County, is starting a victory garden program. There are some concerns that there will be some food scarcity this summer with migrant worker issues, with transportation, and the funding for Feeding America being cut. And so a lot of folks are either growing more food than they plan on using. We're going to do that, but still I have way too many. So if you have grown too many seedlings, or if you have seeds that you do not plan on using, there may be a Victory Garden program in your area. So if you look into that, maybe you can help out some people who might be hungry this summer. All right, with that said, thanks for listening, and we'll talk later.